Hi, this is Darren with today's post. Why most healing fails. Techniques don't change perception, and the root cause of stalled results. What if the reason your healing isn't lasting is not because you haven't found the right method, but because most methods never touch the root cause? Many healing techniques relieve symptoms, far fewer change perception. And if perception does not shift, suffering often reappears in a new disguise. That's the problem I want to address today. Now, we are living in a kind of fallen state of consciousness. What I mean by that is that human beings have been conditioned to identify with a very reduced version of who we are. In a sense, we can say we've been dumbed down, fear-based, reactive, fragmented, and much of our medical, psychological, and even spiritual systems reflect that fragmentation. They often focus on symptoms, pain, anxiety, inflammation, trauma reactions, behavior patterns. And of course, yes, there's tremendous value in helping relieve symptoms. It's wonderful to have relief. It's blessed. Stabilization matters. But symptom management is not the same as true healing and transformation. And that confusion is where many people get stuck. I saw this for years in acupuncture practice. Beautiful practitioners doing very meaningful work, helping people resolve through pain, illnesses, crises. And yet so often people improved and then the problem came back in another form. It was kind of like playing whack-a-mole. One symptom down, another one pops up. This kind of drove me crazy for years when I was in my early part of my practice. Or you can also compare it to the Hydra myth from Greek mythology. Hercules cut one head off the Hydra, two more grew back in its place. Sound familiar? The real problem is deeper than symptoms. Many chronic struggles are not random malfunctions. They may be expressions of unresolved patterns moving through the nervous system, the psyche, the body, and even ancestral and collective fields. That's why so many practitioners are seeing increasingly complex and challenging client cases. We could say convoluted cases, multi-layered pain, people who have tried everything, and nothing fully resolves, or if it does, it's temporary. Now, this isn't because they're broken. It's because much of what drives suffering is invisible to conventional approaches. And this is where perception matters. Because perception is the lens through which reality organizes itself. If your perception remains unconsciously organized around fear, helplessness, inherited trauma, or what I'd call self-binding patterns, the system often recreates suffering, even though you don't want it to, even while trying to heal. I know that's a hard truth, but it is liberating when you see it. Healing that only helps you cope is not the whole deal. Sometimes what we call healing is really improved coping. You feel better. You function a bit better. You manage symptoms. Wonderful. But then Groundhog's Day returns. You start replaying and reliving the same conflict, the same pain, the same inner sabotage, just wearing a new costume, or not. Now let me tell you, that's not failure. That's unfinished healing. What real root cause healing requires. True healing tends to involve three things. First of all, seeing the hidden causes. This is where a shamanic level of awareness matters and makes such a big difference. Tracking symptoms back to deeper influences that are unseen. Not just asking what is happening, but why is this pattern organized in this way? What intelligence is buried inside this symptom? What is the pain trying to initiate? Because pain has messages, and we can ignore the messenger, try to quiet the messenger with drugs and with hypnosis and with, so many different methods. And that's good temporarily. But what is that message trying to really tell you? You see, this changes everything. Second, shifting identity and perception. I've seen many profound healings, physical pain resolving, depression lifting. trauma patterns dissolving. And almost never does that happen in isolation. There's usually a change in consciousness, a shift in identity. The person disengages from an old dream based on fear, what you could call the dream of our society, or the dream of a family unit, and begins identifying with something larger, more sovereign, more coherent. And this is where healing becomes awakening. Third thing, support the body. This is where people want mystical shortcuts. There aren't any. See, diet matters, hydration matters, movement matters, nature matters, relationships matter, epigenetics matter. You see, the body has to become a fertile ground for healing. And yes, here's the paradox. People often sabotage the very lifestyle changes they know are needed. Why? It's because the deeper wound is still driving behavior. That's why inner healing and lifestyle support have to work hand in hand. Like most people know what they should do, but they often procrastinate in doing it. See, this is a package deal. Okay, a quick practice right now. Try this for 3 minutes. Put one hand on your chest, one on your belly. Okay, relax, connect. Take a slow breath and ask yourself this. What recurring symptom or struggle in my life may be asking me to see something deeper? Don't force an answer. Listen with your gut, your nervous system, your felt sense. Something just may show itself. Now that's where real healing begins. Your pain may not just be a problem. It may be a summons, a call into greater responsibility, a call into higher purpose, a call to cast off old unseen fears. That's why I often say healing is not merely about feeling better. It's about becoming more fully who you are. That's a very different journey. And when that deeper shift happens, symptoms sometimes do something remarkable. They lose their job. Now, if this resonated, please put the word root cause in the comments under this post. I'd love to hear where you've experienced the whack-a-mole pattern in your own healing. Subscribe if you want more on quantum healing, nervous system coherence, and awakening the deeper intelligence that can transform suffering. And as always, lighten up and step up.